Jogan experience, yes. I mean, I wrote a book about Operation Paperclip, and my God, talk about a rabbit's hole. For anyone who does not know what that means, Operation Paperclip was when, after World War II, the United States gathered up a ton of scientists from Nazi Germany and brought them over to America. That single move sits at the edge of science and secrecy, victory, and the uneasy price of progress. It is a rabbit hole for a reason, because once you step in, the questions seem to spiral with no clear bottom in sight. Think about the timing. The war ends, the world is shattered, and a new kind of struggle begins. In that moment, a decision is made. Bring those scientists here. Not a few, but a lot. People who were part of a regime that had just shaken the planet now cross an ocean, step onto American soil, and start working in labs and offices under a new flag. It sounds simple at first glance, but every word of it carries weight. Among those names is one that still echoes, Wernher von Braun. According to this account, they had Wernher von Braun run NASA. He was a Nazi, like 100% Nazi. Those words land hard, they force a reckoning. On one side sits the drive for knowledge, the push to build, to innovate, to reach. On the other side sits the stark reality of who some of these people were and what they stood for. The mind races with the contradictions. A country defined by freedom brings over scientists from a defeated dictatorship. A national space agency, a symbol of human curiosity and scientific ambition, is placed in the hands of someone described as fully aligned with that prior regime. It is not a small contradiction. It is the kind that lingers and casts a long shadow over any celebration of achievement. This is why people call it a rabbit hole. You start with a straightforward timeline. The war ends, the scientists arrive, work begins. Then the questions rise. What did it mean to recruit them? How far does a country go in the name of progress? What lines are crossed, and who gets to decide that those lines can be crossed? And once those decisions are made, how do they shape everything that follows? Listen to the language used in that conversation. Not a partial association, not a faint link. 100%. It is a label that refuses to let anyone look away. It frames every discussion that follows. If you bring over someone described that way, what does it say about the priorities at that time? What does it say about the urgency that led to those choices? And what does it say about the belief that knowledge, even from the darkest corners of history, could be redirected toward a new purpose? There is also the sheer scale implied by that phrase, a ton of scientists. It paints a picture of more than a handful. It suggests a wave of minds arriving at once, stepping into a different story and becoming part of a new national project. When you hear it described that way, the moral questions do not become smaller. They become louder, they become more present, more difficult to ignore. The tension lives in every sentence. After World War II, the United States made a choice. It gathered scientists from Nazi Germany and brought them here. Among them was Wernher von Braun. According to this telling, he ran NASA. He was a Nazi, like 100% Nazi. Those are the facts presented. The rest of the conversation is about reckoning with what those facts mean. Some will say that this is the cost of ambition, that the world does not offer clean options when the stakes feel high and the future seems to hang in the balance. Others will say that certain lines should never be crossed, that the source of knowledge matters as much as its outcome, that the moral foundation of a project is part of its legacy. Both thoughts can sit in the same room, and neither makes the other disappear. This is not just a story about policy. It is a story about identity, about the stories a country tells itself and the choices that shape those stories. When a nation brings over a group of scientists from a defeated regime and sets them to work on its grandest dreams, those dreams carry the imprint of that decision. NASA appears in that story not only as an agency, but as a symbol lined with questions that do not settle easily. And that is the heart of the rabbit hole. The deeper you go, the more the questions multiply. Who gets redeemed and who does not? What is forgiven? What is overlooked? what is justified? Is knowledge neutral, or does it carry the moral weight of its creators? When the past is complicated, can the future ever be simple? The mind circles back to the same facts, the same names, the same phrases, again and again. Step back and the outline remains stark. Operation Paperclip took place after World War II. The United States gathered a ton of scientists from Nazi Germany and brought them to America. Wernher von Braun is named in that story. He is described as a 100% Nazi. He is said to have run NASA. With those pieces on the table, the questions are left for each listener to sit with, to measure, to weigh. In the end, this is a story about what people choose to do at the edge of possibility. It is about the crossroads where science meets conscience and necessity meets belief. It is about how a nation that sees itself as a force for good wrestles with choices that do not fit cleanly into that frame. There is no neat resolution here, only the echo of a choice made in a charged moment and the long shadow it casts. Operation Paperclip remains a phrase that opens doors, pulls threads, and unsettles easy narratives. The details given are simple and heavy, and the questions they raise are even heavier. If knowledge can be born in darkness and used in the light, what is the true cost of that light, and who pays it?